Hello there. This is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. We've got the bikes strapped in the back of the camper, and we're going to take them off and go for a bike ride here at Lake Havasu. They've got a nice bike trail. We'll show it to you, and then we'll go over to the Balloon Festival. It's in full swing and just getting started. So come along, join us. Let's have some fun. In part one of these two videos, we came down from Canada on Interstate 15 through Salt Lake City down to the Las Vegas area. And there we met the Colorado River, represented by the red line that flows in from Colorado in a southwest direction. And in the Las Vegas area, the river turns southward and flows into Mexico and eventually into the Sea of Cortez, represented by the little yellow line here. Remember, in part one, we skirted around Vegas by going over by Hoover Dam. We missed all of the good things and the money in Vegas, but we're through it and we're on the south side and headed south. By the way, if you want to see some of Vegas, I made several videos of the Strip and other places in Vegas, and they're in my travelogue section on my website. As we turn south and follow the blue line, the Colorado River, I've made various videos on these towns, and you can see them on my website. Laughlin is an interesting place. I ran into some gambling trouble there. And Needles, the cities on the small cities, towns on the left-hand side, the west side, they're in California. The east side over here is the state of Arizona. Laughlin is on the California side. Bullhead City is on the Arizona side. And they're great tourist areas and gambling casino headquarters. And as we continue south, the big lake, Havasu, a city has formed around it. And we've made a couple of videos on them. Again, all about the London Bridge that's built there, that's in the other video, but we'll kind of show you some of the bicycling that we did in Havasu City. A little further south is Parker, where the dam was built across the Colorado River, and the backwater of the dam formed Lake Havasu. But Parker is another great popular snowbird area for many people. And also on the California side is Blythe, and across from it, a ways off of the Colorado River, is the little town of Quartzsite that explodes from a population of about 200 or 300 to several thousand. 10 to 20 or so thousand RVers pour into Quartzsite, mainly in the month of February, January, February. And they have a great show there, a rock show, and the selling of RVs. And a little further south from Quartzsite, we finally get down to the biggest city in the area, which is Yuma, and it's only about 20 or 30 kilometers from the Mexican border. We're staying here at a place called the Lake Havasu. They built a dam across the Colorado River at downstream at a place called Parker, and the backwater of that dam is called Havasu, and really a small city called Havasu City has formed along the lake upstream here. In one of the videos on the Arizona section in my website, I talk about the London Bridge here, and I'm on top of London Bridge looking down at the water at Havasu. And as you can see, it's quite a tourist type of area. Whenever you've got water, you've got tourists. And Havasu is no exception. There was a whole bunch of bicycle locks locked together on each end of the bridge on each side, and that's a common kind of a thing for people to do, is put their lock and leave it at a particular place, and Havasu is one of those locations. We found a nice little bike trail in Havasu. It's probably a dozen kilometers or less in length, but it's a very nice, enjoyable ride. You go across the London Bridge, and on the west side of the bridge, you come upon the trail and follow me. Let's take a little ride on this nice, easy urban trail. The trail runs through some nice neighborhoods for a while. Nice houses and lots of space in between. This paved urban trail had an interesting rule. Walkers and joggers were to go one direction around the circle and bicyclers the opposite direction. If bikers and walkers walked or biked in the opposite directions, they were always facing each other. And that meant that bicyclers would not be coming up behind walkers and startling them. I thought it was a real good idea for a circular trail. There are those directional signs on the pavement for walkers and the bicyclers going in the other direction. We are out in more open country and away from residential neighborhoods for a little while here. Oh, up ahead it looks like my wife is waiting for me again. She is just too fast on the bike for me at times. This was a metal sculpture along the trail depicting the World Stand-Up Sea-Doo races that Havasu hosts each year. Havasu also hosts an annual hot air balloon festival, and we were there. It was colorful and exciting as the balloons took to the sky first thing in the morning. It was a very impressive display. These small aircraft announced that the balloon flights were about to begin. And pretty soon the sky was filled with them. How do they get the balloons in the air? Well, the first step is to lay the basket on its side, as you can see here, and attach the balloon itself to the basket. These balloons are very large, and it takes several people working to set them up. Here they pull the balloon out from the basket, and they are now blowing cold air from the atmosphere, unheated air, into the balloon to fill up the balloon with air. And you can see the air moving in waves into the balloon parachute itself. Once they get enough air in the balloon, they then turn on the propane heater and blow heated air into the balloon to help it inflate even more. And here you can see the balloon has really started to inflate with the heated air. And this is another company, another outfit heating up their balloon. And the hotter the air, hot air rises, it's lighter than normal air, and it eventually lifts the balloon up in the air, as is happening here. And pretty soon the balloon is almost upright and almost ready to go. At some point they stop putting the hot air in. Here you can see flickers of the flame from the propane burners. And once it gets in the air, They then stop putting the hot air in, and people get ready to get into the little basket and get ready for a ride up into the sky. Here they're still shooting hot air up into the balloon to get it up there, but they don't want it to get away until they're ready to go with it. This was the first balloon we were watching. It shows they're they're heating the air inside the balloon, just like the red one was doing that we were watching. We'll just see how this balloon starts to lift up in the air once the heated air does its job. Now here we are, the balloon is going up in the air, and you can see the basket starting to tilt upward vertically. And this is another balloon almost ready to go. And these people are away. You can still see where they're heating up the air because they want the balloon to rise. The warmer the air, the greater the rise. And they've all paid for a balloon ride, and it's an exciting and a reasonably safe thing. How many people can go in a basket? Well, it depends on the size. It also depends on the weight of the people. And that's all calculated and figured out. Let's just watch a few balloons. Part of the excitement and interest was seeing all of the different colors and designs on the balloons.
Down at the lake, there's more going up yet, Don.
Mm-hmm. Each one was unique and had its own color and geometric pattern on it. A hot air balloon is basically a relatively simple machine. It is comprised of three basic parts: the envelope, the burner, and number 3, the basket. Going back to number 1, the envelope holds the air. Number 2, the burner heats the air. And number 3, the basket carries the passengers. Here's a closer look at some of the balloons that I photographed as they sailed overhead and moved around slowly, riding the wind currents. But the design and the color was just great. A hot air balloon does not have a rudder or a steering wheel or a propeller to help it change directions. It basically either goes up, rises, or it descends or goes down. In order for the pilot to either go up or down, if he wants to go up, then he turns on the propane burner and heats the air, and the heated air causes the balloon to rise. If he wants to come down, there is a vent near the top of the balloon, and he can open that vent. And when the vent opens, the hot air escapes and the balloon descends. Because there is no steering wheel, the balloon is dependent entirely upon the wind and sometimes air currents that it catches going up or down. All of this means that where you start off with the balloon seldom is the exact same place where you return because of the inconsistencies of having the ability to only go up or down in the balloon. Here you can see the people in the baskets in these balloons that are high above us. Balloons, on rare occasion, have got caught up in power line wires. But like anything human, accidents do occur once in a while. Fatalities are rare, partly due to the slow moving of the balloons, and the balloon itself can sometimes act as a form of parachute. Parachutes for passengers are not carried as they are cumbersome and really not necessary. In the U.S., only well-trained and certified pilots can operate a hot air balloon. And these balloons fly only in good weather. And that is when the wind is low at times of either early morning or at sunset. By the way, if you don't want to spend so much money and go on a, let's say, an hour to a 4-hour balloon ride, you can sometimes they offer what they call a tethered ride, where the balloon is tethered with a long rope, and you can ride that up in the air above any buildings, and it's on a rope, and it doesn't go horizontal then and pushed by the wind. And after you go up vertical, they let some of the hot air out of the balloon, and down you come and pulled back to the rope at the landing pad. Here's a few unique designed balloons, like this skull and this character here. There were a few others. The green monster was another big balloon, and one in the form of a bottle. And another partner balloon was this guy here. If you do get a chance to take a balloon ride, you should really consider it. It's an experience that you will remember for a long time. That balloon festival was a lot of fun, and so was the bike riding. And I've made another video or two on the Lake Havasu and the other communities along the river here that are not part of this series that we're into right now. So click around on the Arizona section of my website and you'll see more stuff on these snowbird communities. In the meantime, we are headed south. So this is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. Hit the subscribe button if you like what you saw, and we'll be able to bring you some more videos. So long till then.